Hey guys, I noticed that there is not a lot of information online about how to organize your planets, maximize your economy, and after experimenting a little bit, I've managed to come up with a decent solution for now. It does take a while to build and it's touch and go a few times. You don't need Econopolises, the archaeology tech, which you get through the Ascendancy Archaeology project. You don't necessarily need that, but otherwise it does help quite a bit. As you can see over here, for example, in this archaeology foundry, I'm making 2,800 alloys for metallurgist jobs, whereas my capital, which is not mega optimized, it could be slightly altered a bit more, but we're making just over 500, which in of itself is not bad because we also have a decent amount of other resources, but it is something to keep in mind. So let's start off. Economy in Stellaris is central to the game. It allows you to build yourself up and build yourself as fast as possible, and there are three major elements to this. The first element is that you want to make sure you have a decent amount of unity to start with the game, because this allows you to get the two very, in my opinion, almost indispensable traits, which are mercantile and prosperity. These help you build an insane economy that scales exceptionally well into the late game. Again, you can do this without it, but that means you're hyper-focusing on something else. And right now, mercantile is incredibly powerful with adaptive economic policies. That's something that I believe is essential in helping, especially in the early game. And if you look at standard construction templates and the public works division, having this allows your cities to have better housing and faster planetary construction, which you need, as well as cheaper. There are other things such as the upkeep from resources with interstellar franchising and the pursuit of profit. These help a lot, but generally speaking, that's what you're looking for. Also, with regards to the mercantile, adaptive economic policies, you want to also get insider trading as fast as possible. That market fee reduction helps a lot. Again, the rest is lovely to have, but those are the main things you should go for. Once you get that little bit of unity at the start, you want to sort out your science. Now, why sorting out your science? It helps in your economy because it will unlock buildings, namely buildings like the energy nexus, the food processing centers, and the mineral purification hubs. All of this is wonderful to have. There are ways to go around this, such as if you go and reform your government with functional architecture. It waves the, it helps build up faster, but you don't necessarily need that to start off. What you do need to make sure you have is a way to get science easily. Now, in this build, I went with the Knights of the Toxic Gods, and you get the Order Keep, which gives you an insane amount of research at the cost of alloys and customer goods and energy. So this is a double-edged sword. It's something that you're constantly managing when you're building up. So with those basics kind of understood, how do you build your economy? 4.1 is based on population. You have a population on each planet, and the population is your entire economy. Before this change, the economy was based on smaller populations and different units. Now it is imperative, I would say, that you get a decent amount of population. Now, as you notice, the population is split between four different groups. You have the elites, you have specialists, workers, and the civilians. Civilians are employed pops. Let's start with them. They give amenities and science. If you have, in my case, the civil education, which changes enforcers with science, that's something you can do to get a little bit extra science. In this case, it's not the main way I get science, but it's a nice little bump on top, especially if you play with a different log curve of the pops. You'll be able to get 40-50k pops, and then this just explodes. The amount of science you get from it, it's just insane. It's good to have the civilians because you get the amenities, which allows you to just have as much as you want to cover the rest of the planet. The workers are just your standard. You have technicians, miners, and farmers, and these guys are the backbone in terms of getting energy, food, and minerals for your planet. And then you have the various specialists, artificers, metallurgists, all these lovely people, educators, genomic researchers that help you basically get specific resources. And you have the elites, which are just the ruling class of sorts. In this case, I am executives because I'm an imperial empire, and yeah, gives you some trade, some unity, a little bit of upkeep, all the good stuff, all the fun stuff. Now, with that sorted, we then go into buildings. Now, the city districts are split. Can I move this? Yes, perfect. The city districts are split with the 3. So you have 6 in the first one that you start building as you go along in new planets. And then you have 2 specialized districts, which you can choose from a number of them. And all of these are useful in their own rights. In this case, I went for heavy industry. I specialized this planet in heavy industry. I needed a lot of alloys at the start of the game to build up my army. And I went for a rather tall, even though it doesn't show right now that I went for a tall build, but it's 200 years in, and the tiny little bit of a few wars happened. The galaxy is shattered, actually. Let's see. Yeah, all of this was an empire that I took over, and I broke it up. Anyway, so for that I went with alloy plants, ministry production. All of these beautiful buildings that you get give you upkeep reduction, efficiency increase, production, all of that amazing stuff that helps a lot. Now, generator districts, mining districts, and agriculture districts, I used to build the automation building, which I thought was a fantastic build to have. And now here I would say it's amazing to have if you have a low population based build. However, if you went like me with something with a high pop build, I would say just building an additional job building, such as the hydroponics farm, the surface quarry depot, and the voltaic production yard is essential, because it makes sure that you have that extra work and it just buffs. Now, this is a generic planet, right? I showed you what I built in terms of the buildings for the resources, but again, we need population, and population needs a way to be created. So in my case, I went full pop growth. So I have the cryo revitalization centers, I have the genomic research facility, and I have the clone vats. As you can see, each one of these increases the organic pop cap by a significant number. I am building an organic empire. If you're building a robotic empire, this would be different, and there are different requirements, but the idea is this: anything that can help your pops grow faster, get it. The genomic research facility is OP as hell, because it gives 15% efficiency for organic pops across your entire planet. As well, it gives you research, pop growth, or pop growth multiplier, and monthly pop growth. So these are all different things that you need to look at. So pop growth speed, monthly organic pop growth multiplier, and monthly organic pop growth are 3 factors that you need, and this is why this building is so OP. And on top of all of this, it makes your organic pops require less resources. So generally, out of everything that I build on a planet, I build the medical centers, clone vats, and the research facility, and with that, you basically see them on almost all of my planets. Need to upgrade the center of guidance. Almost all of my planets, because they affect. So if I go on to the management and I go over here, you can see I have +5 pop growth, which is the cap, the absolute cap that I can have. Actually, I am wrong. That is actually a significant amount. I was reading something and it was saying that was +5 maximum, but apparently I am wrong. And it's something that I need to look into. Robots are just collect them as I go along. So this is something I need to look into, because pop growth +8, 10. Why is it? That is really interesting. So still learning things. Apparently it's not +5. The entire essay I read on Reddit was not accurate. But as you can see, there is various degrees of pop growth on all of the planets. Now, this means that the planet is either really good for you. So, for example, this fortress station is +10, and next month it's going to be 9.71. But apparently 10 is the limit then, maybe. So yeah, back to point, because that threw me off a little bit. Then you want to start hyper specializing your planets. You have normal planets that ideally you terraform everything to be something that you have 100% habitability, and that helps to make sure that you are getting the best value for money. On top of that, you can also get through the ascensions up to 200% habitability. That's something that increases your pop growth, increases all of the other things. So it's something to think about as you are developing your system. I'm generally going for clone, purity, and purity when I ascend, and this gives me again this huge amount of population growth. Now we're looking at Econopolis. Econopolis is a planet that you are able to get two ways. Number one, you find a relic world and you terraform it into a Econopolis through a decision that comes up. Or you have any normal world, you get the archaeology project, you remove all of the inhibitors that you have building here, the blockers that you have, and you build every single city's district possible, and this increases the amount of districts the planet can have, and I think it increases it by 5, I could be wrong, and you are able to build archaeology districts down here. So in practice you have 5 districts. Now what I did that I found, again I stand to be corrected in the comments, I put all of the city districts up here to boost these plants and make sure I get as much plants as possible up here, and then I put the buildings down here for support. Now as you see here, I have the Asian Refinery, Meteorological Research Lab, and Ministry of Production stuck down there, as well as the synthetic chemical plants, because these give planet-wide buffs, and I don't need to have that many population down here to power these 3 jobs, right? I rather would have the jobs up here and make sure that these planets are maximizing that efficiency up there. As you can see, it's getting a ridiculous amount of alloys, motes, gas, crystals, and even trade, unity, and science. It's still decent, like overall planet. It's incredible, and it doesn't use that much resources. Considering everything, it's not using that much. But such planets, so I have that planet and I have Sirius Prime, which is designed for, I think this one I designed slightly better, for the consumer goods. As you can see here, I am getting a ridiculous amount of consumer goods from this planet, and all of those consumer goods are of course going into my insane amount up here. So this is the planet that I built for the consumer goods, but to power those, especially if you have a biological ships, you need to have a couple of these food planets. Food planets are essential because they give you an insane amount of resources, and those resources are very, very important and useful to make sure you achieve your goals. Now 2,400 food, 2,700 food, I did a little bit of extra pop here. I think it's 10k and this is 5k, that's why. So that's how you get it. It's really important you do the farming support. The farming support increases, that's 40% increased output from down here, which is absolutely crazy. How much boosts that, and a number of other things that you get. Also interesting, this planet gives a shit ton of exotic gases just from having population growth. So those buffs are things to look out for. Like for example, this planet would have been an incredibly good energy district, but at the time I needed it for minerals. Now minerals, you can get a decision to Well, I don't have the decision on this one, probably on this one. Strip mine. So you can strip mine the planet. And when you strip mine the planet, you need to have 6 mining districts built. And when you do so, it gives you 10 additional mining districts, and you end up with a planet such as the above, where you have 21 mining districts. I have all the buffs, and again, mining support for that additional buffs, which results in an insane amount of minerals. Now, right now I have 9k minerals, and if I go into my planets and sectors, I see where I'm getting them. I have a decent amount from the Kurak sector and the Plomia, because I just conquered this and I turned some of them into mining districts. My cat decided he wants to come into the room and interrupt me. So again, I have mining and feeding districts, and these areas I'm still developing, and they're in the process of being developed up and built up, so they are quite limited right now. As you can see, trade nexuses, for example, this is a trade station. So again, I put some fortress and planetary defenses because the area keeps getting attacked, and it's not part of my inner circle. But at the same time, then you have the commercial nexus, everything built there, provides a decent amount of trade, and it just keeps building up as you're going along. So yeah, that for me would be the way to get things sorted with a decent economy. I mean, as you can see here, this is a new, not enough warpstone. My scientist, he's still alive. Wow. This is a new fortress station that they built with the knights. And it's just, again, you just build a bunch of fortresses, the Order's Castle, got an Epis Bastion, which is really cool, from the research. And that's giving me an insane amount of science. Honestly, I think everyone else is going to be a squire, but we need more knights, and to get more knights, it just takes some time. This fortress station could technically be optimized further, because I could change all of these extra into order buildings, but it takes time and effort to try and counter all of the resources that would lose. So I've been slowly moving and building up my resources elsewhere. As you can see, my alloys have completely collapsed. I was producing a lot more alloys than that, but it, just keeps going. You keep developing as you go along. So my alloys are under 1,000 now because I've built an insanely large army. I'm actually really proud of this, around 18 mil. And that means I'll probably find something like this one. This could be an energy world. This is a bit too small, it won't be very good. But I'll find a new planet, or build a couple of new habitats, which then I'll use for creating another factory. Planet or forge planet. I hope you found Rant useful. It's a understanding from my point of view, and hopefully it's useful for you guys as well. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, leave them down below, and if you have ways to I can do things better, please do let me know, because I do like myself a bit of intergalactic skullduggery. I think that's the word for it. Thank you and goodbye.